All right, routings are finally done. That's the fill. Well, actually, fill will go that way. This will be the vent line, so it drains the excess off the side of the side case. So that route goes up here, goes to here, goes to here, goes around there. So it will fill through one, and then the excess will bleed off through the other once it's completely full up to there. Then coming off of here, I have the pitot tube and the main feed line. Comes down, around. I have clamp off options so that when I'm filling the tank, I can turn off the pitot tube from back flowing, and I can close off the main feed line if I need to maintain some other part of the system. And we have the power socket here, which allows me to feed or extract up to 20 amps at 12 volts. And I have clips, I have a Y, and I have the harness with the 20 amp fuse. This harness is my headlight relay, which has a 15 amp fuse here. Disconnect that for when I'm working on it so I don't drain the battery. Harness and hoses and wires come this way. Then the main feed line comes down, goes into the float bowl where there's a needle and seat under here. So I have a set float level somewhere right about here. Then the pitot line is spliced in here, which I get my pitot tube from up front. We'll get there in a minute. And it pressurizes both the tank at the back and comes down here and pressurizes the float bowl, which then pushes the liquid from inside the float bowl up into here with a cutoff switch, so I can turn it off when I'm not riding. Comes into here. Then I have the option of going up this way to the manual pump, if I choose to do so, or automatically coming down across here and going underneath there and across the bike to this side, and it comes out. Let's move the chain. Come on, let go. Neutral. Now you move. Okay. Over here, so it comes, the oil comes out here, and I have a specially shaped hose that comes to here, and this is my metering valve. So this controls how much flow the pressure difference coming from the pitot tube will actually create. This is how I meter the oil flow per mile, basically. This down here is to align the chain guide perfectly with the actual sprocket. That's just a maintenance thing. And it comes out the back over here, goes down through a little loop, and then comes out through holes in the chain guide just underneath the chain, so that the oil is applied to the backside of the pivoting parts of the chain as it goes forward. And then it'll go into here. The oil will get, the excess oil will get slung off here and eventually drip out to the left of the tire if there is excess. There shouldn't be any until the chain gets back here, and then the higher centrifugal force will fling it off that way, which is fine. So then the other end of this line is where it comes from the mechanical pump, the manual pump on the handlebars, and is pumped into the directly to the chain guide. So if I want to manually apply a lot of oil, I can. say I ran through a water puddle or I've been riding through really dusty trails for a while. It'd be nice to just manually say, hey, give it some more oil. The other end of this is with the vacuum brake, so that the float level doesn't cause it to siphon out through here, because the float level is about here, and I want the brake point to be about here rather than down here, because then it's going to be constantly siphoning even when I'm stopped. So I have the vacuum brake coming up this way, going under here, and then I have a bulkhead here, which runs, can you see it? No, it's tucked away behind this. It's tucked away behind that. There's a little, there it is. That's the bulkhead connector. So that's where my vent comes from for the vacuum brake. And then the manual pump is directly on the handlebars right there. So that will force oil directly into the chain. One squirt is like 20 miles worth of oil, but that's how you get there fast. And then this is the bracket, which is going to hold a small brass tube. This is going to be my pitot tube. And because I have a big, mostly flat headlight, I'm actually going to have the pitot tube come up, around, and point down, because the stagnation point of the headlight is going to be right about here, and then I'm going to have darn near full stagnation pressure going up. So that's where I'm going to put the pitot tube, and then the windshield will go over the top of that, and that should be everything.